Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your co-host with the most, Whiteboy 7th Street, and welcome to another fantastic episode of the podcast show. An unfortunate event took place during the recording of the show. I was not recording my microphone. So, I tried my best. I spent about 2 hours doing my best to salvage the show. I added some post commentary. Anytime you hear me talk in this episode, it's after the fact because my microphone absolutely was not recording anything. So I did some editing, cut it a little bit short, and I hope you guys enjoy. We really appreciate you fans being loyal and patient with us during this holiday season. I didn't want to miss another week in a row, 2 weeks in a row. Would have been bad, and I would have felt so bad because I know a lot of people love this show, and it would have been solely on my part. So, hoping to make it right by you guys. Enjoy the show. The podcast show. We running the cat shit. White boy, we running the cat shit.
Technically, it would be ISIS recruitment. Like we didn't do anything to like push him towards like a group like that, a militant group.
You called him jihad, didn't you?
No, I called him suicide bomber. But yeah, like the dude was obviously had a brain on himself. Like he wouldn't go and strap bombs to himself for some, well, maybe religious. Like that's religion is something that will get an intelligent person to do something stupid. But like,
who is this, by the way?
The I don't think you were here. It was one of the weeks you weren't here. We had a Middle Eastern guy on, and he was a fan of the show, and like he really wanted to be on. And I was like, "Fuck it, we need a guest. Hey, can you be here this day?" He was very pro-Islam. He had, he's originally from Afghanistan, but he lives in England. He was very pro-Muslim. Like he liked Sharia law. He thought women were like a certain way. Jive and Whiteboy walked out during that talk because they got bored with it. But like I was like, how can you believe this shit? You know, it's like Muhammad rode to heaven on a fucking horse with wings. Like where's Pegasus at?
He was basically a Muslim that talked like you, Eddie.
Okay.
His accent was exactly like yours.
I was very interested in the conversation, but I wanted Wings to lead it because he was the religious expert.
I do, but most of my religion is based in Christianity. I don't know pretty much that much about Muslims because I was born into like Southern Free Will Baptist, and I was a Christian from like age 1 to like age 16, and so like I know a lot about it from there. And I'm also a certified pastor.
Damn.
Yes. But I got that as a joke.
Pastor.
I got that as a joke. It's very easy. You can do it online.
Here I say HBO is killing it with a new series called The Young Pope.
They're killing it with their series, but like so many people I know steal Game of Thrones. It can't be like saving the network.
No, it's what they call a marquee series. It doesn't make money. Game of Thrones loses HBO a lot of money, but they do it because it sells subscriptions.
And it makes them the money back through like subscriptions and.
But that's what I was saying. Like people ain't subscribing for it because like most people I know steal it from somebody else.
Yeah, to watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I got HBO for Game of Thrones. Sorry, white boy. Is it really gonna be late, man? I keep hearing reports. Months late though, like not 2 weeks late, like months. No.
Let's put this in perspective. A new Call of Duty will be out, or on the cusp of becoming out, and all the Battlefield DLC will be out by the time you'll get to watch Game of Thrones again.
Right. Fuck that. I want my Game of Thrones.
Has there been a new Call of Duty? It feels like the last Call of Duty to come out was Black Ops 3. I mean,
it does. Like
it doesn't feel like it, does it? It really doesn't.
It died quick. It died really quick.
Call of Duty
I don't think it even started breathing. Honestly, I don't even think you can say it died because when it came out, people were like, "I'm not playing that." No one played.
Like seriously, you and 14 other people in the world like the game. Like that's it, Eddie.
I just don't think it's terrible. It's not like
I'm with Eddie on that. I don't think it's terrible. I just don't think it's a game worthy of my time, though.
I think people have moved on. I think people have moved on. Genuinely, I think this is the first time.
If there was a game they put out with jumping like Black Ops 3, I probably would have played it. I'd probably still be playing it.
I don't think you would. I think it's run its course. Honestly, there is a part of me that thinks the only hope that Call of Duty has is to go old school, but not Modern Warfare Remastered.
I think
like
maybe
old school
take a year
gameplay,
off.
but a new game. That's the only thing I think people will play.
I think too old school is gonna hurt also.
Yeah,
Like,
too
I
old
think
school.
they
I'm
need
talking
to
like
go-
Black Ops 1 old school, all right?
They
That's
need,
what
old, they need old school with seamless movement. Like you
yeah, the
playing the
movement needs to be a bit better. But
playing
like,
remaster is like an act of God to climb through a window. Like I'm used to playing Battlefield, where it's like you hit the window, your guy does like a jump over it, and it's seamless. You
Yeah.
barely lose speed. You know, they need that
Fucking
kind of stuff.
I jump shot a lot, right?
Mhm.
And this is something that I really hate about COD, like the auto shit, like the helping us out. Let us use our brains. Like if we want to jump on a car, like if we want to climb on a car, let us hold the button to climb. Like if I tap the button, let it be a jump.
you don't
If
like
I hold
auto
the
mantle,
button,
basically.
let it climb. Like if I'm near a ladder, let me press the button to get on the ladder. Don't let me just run and then he just start climbing the fucking ladder. Like what the fuck? That shit gets me killed so many
You can
times.
turn that off, I think.
In Advanced
No.
Warfare, you can, but not in Black Ops 3.
Not in like I played Advanced Warfare 2 times. But
Advanced Warfare, you could turn auto mantling off, but like you could turn the ladder off. Like I hate the ladder shit too.
yo,
You run into a ladder on the wall when you're not trying to climb the ladder, you're trying to get away from somebody, you jump on the ladder. It's like fuck that noise.
he just like this, like just stuck on the ladder. You're like, what the fuck is you doing and shit? And for some reason, your brain just stops working. You're like, how do I get off this ladder and shit? And
You know
gotta
what's
find
fucked
me
up?
how to get off.
Even though no one's playing Infinite Warfare, it's still the biggest selling game of 2016. Work that shit out. Just think about that. Just think about that. Yeah, I know. There's reasons for it, but listen. There's not enough people to make. If they're buying it for Modern Warfare Remastered, there ain't enough people buying Modern Warfare Remastered that outsells a brand new Battlefield game. That ain't happening. If you just released Modern Warfare Remastered, it would not outsell Battlefield 1. It wouldn't.
But I guarantee it outsold. It's probably the highest selling, but I guarantee you it doesn't have the most people online.
It
I
does.
guarantee you that.
No.
Just like HBO and Game of Thrones, this year Infinite Warfare lost Activision money because their stock price went down about 10% after investors saw the negative reaction to the game. And if they really want to come back, they need to update the connection and update the engine.
It's just the time to kill, man. Lag compensation is fine, but the time to kill is way too quick.
You're talking about Modern Warfare?
The remaster, where the time to click is way
that's-
too quick.
One time I died before the bullets hit me. I'm looking at the bullets and I just die. Like, what the fuck?
It's like a system shock. I played it the other day on stream, and I actually had a pretty good time. I went into it pissed off, and I actually ended up having a good time on it. But like, it's still a system shock when you get to a guy and you're dead before you can even start the gunfight in your brain. I'm quick as fuck. I don't know if you people. I play on the console, but I'm still quick as fuck. And like, if you're destroying me, it might be the game.
Get good, dog.
It might be the game.
Wings was doing really good in his stream. He was taking it very slow. He wasn't running whatsoever and only hip firing.
Were you watching the end of my stream? Because at the end of my stream, I was using a broken controller that couldn't run. I literally have a controller. It's this one right here. As you can see, it's got like drywall right there, indented inside of it.
I'm throwing this shit.
And it does like this number right here, but like it can't aim down sight and it can't run anymore. Like these two buttons don't work anymore, and it can't hold itself. Like it has to be plugged in because it can't hold a charge without being plugged in. But I was seeing how well I could do with a controller this is my stunt controller. Like instead of like throwing like this one that works, I'll grab this one and throw it, because what happened with this one in Ghost, the sprint died in it.
Did you say a stunt controller?
It's like a stunt controller. It's a controller that I couldn't sprint with to begin with because Ghost killed it.
Yeah, it's a stunt double for your actual controller.
Yeah, it's like I want to throw a controller, I'm gonna throw this one. That's why the Pikachu thing is there, because that's where the drywall came from. Because I literally threw the controller through the wall, and I just put something over.
You fucking get mad, throw a controller and be playing 5 milliseconds later and shit.
Yeah.
Boom! How the fuck is he that quick? They'd be like, damn, this guy's a fucking beast.
Do you think they're going to do a series of remasters every year now? Do you think that's their angle? They're like, well, the games aren't selling as well on their own.
I'd buy World at War.
I wouldn't mind if they make another boots on the ground game than make like World at War, Modern Warfare 2 remake.
I think they should implement like innovation into them though. Like I said, like if they put World at War out, it would kind of suck and be dated because of the controls. But if they made the movement seamless, if they rebalanced the weapons, if they toned down the MP40,
So
and
remake the games.
kind of like remaking the games. Like you're making the game, the maps are all the same, the guns are all the same, but you've changed the movement, you changed the net code, you've changed how things work, you've rebalanced things.
I don't mind.
You maybe even added kill streaks, like instead
Like
of like
Modern-
artillery strike, you had something else.
Like Modern Warfare 2, I don't mind them remaking that, but I want them to patch it. Like it doesn't have to be a remaster because it's like basically a patch, like patch noob tubes and shit like that.
Right, but like I said,
and all that shit.
people keep saying,
How the fuck? This is what I don't understand. Modern Warfare Remastered. How the fuck does the listen to other people's party chat work? How the fuck does that perk work? Eavesdrop.
right, but everybody's in a PlayStation party now. But it was created when
There weren't parties, right?
Yeah.
Parties didn't.
I told them they should change that perk to awareness. Eavesdrop.
So I was
could
like,
be
how's that
awareness.
gonna fucking work? Like, it obviously,
Just make it awareness. That's all you got to do. Make it so you can hear footsteps very vividly and clear.
Did anybody use that when?
No.
I didn't use that.
I used it in Search and Destroy because you couldn't have parties in Search.
What about something when they say "up on blue" and they throw a grenade, a ping on the mini map shows up or something like that?
Like reconnaissance in World at War, like where you see dogs, artillery strikes, and things like that.
Some advantageous thing that isn't useless. Basically, I would be hype if they I gotta be honest. If they remade Modern Warfare 2, I would be hype as fuck. I loved that game. I'm one of the Modern Warfare 2 lovers. I didn't hate it like Blame Truth and loads of other people did. I think the experience in Europe was a little bit different to America because all I hear from Americans is, "Oh, it was Javelin glitch, care package glitch, everything
Rust
was
24/7.
Yeah, my lobbies weren't really like that. I have to be honest. Like,
I
loved that game.
There was a period in America where every lobby you went into, like you select Search and Destroy, you get 18-man free-for-all Rust. You select Domination, you get 18-man free-for-all Rust. You select EDM, you get 18-man free-for-all Rust.
And it didn't change for months.
That was the
That's what's
first
so
5
fucked up.
months of the game.
Yeah, that's so fucking. It wasn't like that for me at all.
It wasn't like that on PlayStation either. That was only on Xbox.
Yeah, I was about to say I did not.
Like PlayStation it worked 100% fine until like did the PlayStation Network crash happen in Modern Warfare 2? No, it happened later. It happened later. Yeah. Take grenade launchers out of that game and you bounce a couple of the weapons.
I don't think they should remake it because I want to preserve the world's fastest nuke.
That's why you don't want it remade. You want to keep
It won't because if they dumb it down, dumb the explosives down, that shit ain't gonna happen again.
Right, but Whiteboy, you like your world's fastest nuke, you have like seconds that you could add to it, like literally. Like, and that's not counting. Like, I hate the way people counted like Moabs. That I've addressed this before. Like the way people counted like Moabs to the first kill to the last kill. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. Fastest nukes, fastest Moab happened from start of game till Moab. You don't get to count. You don't get to like get lucky and run into 30 people like, with their backs turned and count that as the fastest Moab. Like Jay Nasty would have people spawn trapped and then start Moab counters. It's like, come on, man.
It'd be 5 minutes into the game, then he get a kill. Boom. Okay, timer starts now. Oh, look at that sick feed. Get the fuck out of here.
Modern Warfare 3 was fun. God, COD used to be so good.
I hated Modern Warfare 3 for the first 8 months of its life, and I loved it toward the end of it.
It was such a good game.
It was the start of COD's downfall.
It was the start of downfall, but it was also a Call of Duty that Sledgehammer had their hands into, and Sledgehammer's fucking terrible.
Whiteboy, you are so gay.
Sledgehammer is such a bad studio. I think Modern Warfare 3 has the best single player campaign of all of them.
Better than Modern Warfare 2?
Yes, better than 2. Like you had soap dying, you get to hang Makarov.
Spoilers, by the way.
The game's old as fuck now.
Yeah, no, I'm joking.
Yeah, but you get to hang Makarov. Like who didn't get hyped up with Price going to avenge soap toward the end of that game?
Yeah, that was sick.
There was a lot of memorable. I have more memorable moments in Modern Warfare 3 than 2. Like most of the missions kind of run into each other. You have like the parking lot mission. You have
I like the ice mission, at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
I think that's good. Where you got
look at the end. Look at the end of the game. Like they kind of shoehorn like an antagonist into the game. The general. He's like it happens like the last 2 missions of the game. It's like, oh, this is the bad guy now. We're chasing Makarov, and now we get to kill this guy.
Well, he kills Roach and Ghost, doesn't he? And then that was
like,
badass though, because that bit's really haunting.
And it's like look at compare it though. You have the speedboat into the canyons section on Modern Warfare 2 versus the Price in the Juggernaut suit in Modern Warfare 3. Which one's a better ending level?
Price and Yuri in the Juggernaut suit is way better.
It is way better.
Y'all talking about like campaign?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Modern Warfare campaigns are worth playing. They are worth playing.
Oh, but Black Ops 2 was terrible.
You know what happened the other day? I played Battlefield 1 with iTemp, and I just gave up on recon, just took an SMG and killed everything, and was like, "This game's all right." Actually.
You put the automatical up, didn't you?
I can't remember. It's like the first assault gun or whatever.
Oh, the MP18 trench.
Yeah, and
I can deal with the trench, but if you run the automatico, you're the bane of human existence.
No, I was like literally level 1 with assault, and I just killed everything. We played Operation. We played most of them apart from the like Arabian missions because they've got like really wide open maps.
Yeah.
We played the first one, the Germans against the Americans, and then the Italians against the Austrians, and I was just killing everything. I was like, yeah, this is all right, this game. As long as I don't think ever to pick up a recon gun ever again, I'd probably enjoy the game, I think.
I mean, you hating it, but like recon's as strong as it's ever been in Battlefield 1. It just doesn't have that one-shot kill factor.
Yeah, so the way I played it. I played recon all wrong, I've said
but like if you want the recon like kill death, the automatico trench is the strongest weapon in the game, followed closely by the Hellraiser.
Dude, people were melting me with a Hellraiser. It was outrageous. The only people that would kill me were like level 100s with a Hellraiser.
The Hellraiser is so fucking obscene. Like you look at the gun, it's like, okay, this gun has low recoil. It has assault rifle kind of range. It has 60 bullets in the magazine. It's like, how would you put this in the game? Like, why would you put this in the game? Look what Jai is firing up. Holy fuck!
Oh, wow!
Look what he's firing up. Look at it. What's that?
How can y'all see what I'm doing?
That's his Call of Duty Infinite Warfare right there.
How? How the hell can y'all see? I'm not playing Infinite Warfare. My camera right here. How can y'all see?
You're using the one to your right.
There's no camera to my right.
Oh, damn! I'm busted. About to play my favorite game.
It's actually not a terrible PC port, I have to be honest.
Yeah, but it's got no people playing that bitch. Steam the other day at 2,400.
I can play fine TDM.
To be fair, World at War on the PS3 has more active players at midday than Infinite Warfare on PC.
That's crazy.
It says update requires restart.
Wings, what do you think of the new Battlefield trailer showing off the new Behemoth and Elite class?
I've heard leaks. Like there's supposed to be a map called Operation Volk, and that's supposed to be a World War I variation of Operation Locker. That's fucking terrible. That is so goddamn terrible. You might as well call that map Operation Gas Grenade. That's what that's going to be.
Operation Gas Grenade is about right, man. Fuck. This is the only thing I don't understand about people who play Battlefield. There were like hundreds of servers on Battlefield 4 of just Locker. And I'm like, Locker is the worst map ever. It's terrible.
Because
if you like Locker, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, I'm not pulling any punches.
You're a bum.
You're an idiot.
Like Nuketown.
No, it's worse than Nuketown. It's worse than Nuketown.
It's people that expect to die a lot of times. It's people that expect to die a lot of times that like these maps. You know what I mean? And they could just stay in one spot and just shoot all fucking day.
In Battlefield 4, all it was XM25. That's all it was. Let's shoot explosives at each other from across a corridor and for literally 20 minutes.
You know what's funny about that? Like the map that gets brought back all the time by Activision is Terminal, and that was the same shit. Remember in Modern Warfare 2, Terminal was literally, they would stand on each end of that little hallway with the glass, and they would shoot grenade launchers back and forth between Dreams and the Terminal.
Where do they get the fan favorite shit from?
People
Like-
they vote on
why-
the forums and stuff like that, and they
What
go with
the-
like
What is,
for
a
example
secret
like
forum?
no the actual forum, like the Battlefield forums.
No, like Terminal. How did Modern Warfare 3 think Terminal was the fan favorite?
They probably did polls.
There was probably a vote, yeah, on the Reddit or something.
Was it your favorite, Wings?
No, my favorite map in Modern Warfare 2 was everybody else hated it. So like my favorite was
was
Wasteland.
Favela.
Mine was Wasteland.
People didn't hate Wasteland.
I didn't hate Wasteland, but it was like
I just
You
really
just like that for the ass clapper.
I
however you
love
call
the
it.
sniping dynamic on the map. I loved using like a thermal sniper and just pick people off of cold blooded.
The great Hutch versus Wings of Redemption debate.
Yeah, which I listened to that debate again. Like I wish I could redo that debate because like I'm so much smarter a person now than I was when I was like 23.
I think Hutch will embarrass you again in a debate right
No,
now.
he wouldn't.
Oh,
Wow, Jive, them's fighting words.
Guys, he got a
I
leg
don't
to
think
liberate
he would.
stuff.
I don't think
he'll-
you can't have a debate about quick scoping in 2017. It's not allowed. I forbid both of you to embarrass
Well,
yourself by talking about quick scoping.
I want to point this out. I was fucking right. I mean, there's a lot of points in there that I wasn't right on, but I was right about like, camping is a dynamic of the game. And if you take it out, it creates games nobody wants to play. Look at the game Jive's playing right now. That is a game that pretty much destroys any semblance of camping.
I tell you what, if you play that game at 144 hertz, it looks fucking sick.
Like I like the problem I have with the game is I have nobody that wants to play it. Like none of my friends wants to play it. I mean, the only person that'll play it with me is Crow Magnum, and it's like if I had like 3 or 4 dudes that wanted to camp on it and have a good time, it'd be a fun game.
It's on 144 hertz.
Another thing is Battlefield 1 is turning me into not a camper. Like the way I play Battlefield 1 is very aggressively.
Got to imagine that you're Arnie or Stallone, and this is your action movie. That's how you should play these games.
No,
all right.
that's not how I play. I play it for the most points possible. Like I don't even chase kills. I chase
Play
points.
like X-Cal.
I chase points. There's supposed to be a new behemoth in this new DLC.
Can I just say the behemoths are bullshit? Can I just say
Yeah.
that?
They're
They're
bullshit.
They're
They're bullshit.
bullshit. I beat you.
Behemoths
You
are fucking
get
horrible.
it's like
Help
it's
him
like-
out! Send
No,
him the help!
it's like the mother of all support streaks. That's what it is.
I call them
It's
welcome
like,
to streaks.
We just got our ass kicked, so we need a train. Oh, I did this sick play on Battlefield 1 on the one where the train comes through the map. It's on one of the operations. This guy the train was super low because we were all like C4ing it basically. I don't know what it's called, the C4 equivalent. And this guy got off the train. I mean, he was this close to me. He was like here. And he shot me once, and I'd thrown my C4 away from him, closer to me. I detonated it. It blew up the train, killed him, and I survived. I was in between him and the explosion. Not only did he get out,
we laid
shoot
down.
me, get a hit marker, and why the fuck isn't this guy dead? But then I blew up his entire fucking thing and killed him and survived. I was
And
like, there's no way
right.
that should happen.
Like, there's a video I want to show out that you could take the tank hunter land ship and defeat the train in a one-on-one fight.
I just want to know, why do they put this help shit in these games? Like, why does everyone need help? Like if you suck, you suck.
no, I don't fucking suck. I beat level cap in the gas challenge, all right? When I have a team full of idiots that won't help me, I need all the help that I can get. And the behemoths kind of make it evens when you're getting pub stomped.
Well, hey, sometimes it happens.
Dude,
No, I'm special.
no, like even then, like you know how hard it is to get behemoths because people camp them. I've been killed by guys with like 20 stars in like the armored train. I'm like, how do you get 2,000 kills in the armored train, dude? Like, seriously.
And that means they have skills with it by now. That means they
There's
know.
no,
how to
there's,
use this
there's
shit.
no skills to you with. You got a machine gun and you're in an impervious vehicle. There's no skills there.
I
Yes,
don't want to hear this from
I know
someone
people that know how to
who
use
is a
the
tank
fucking-
player.
more
I do not want to hear this from someone who is a tank player. I do not want to hear it's out of order when they can't shoot me and I can instant kill them. Oh, really? That's
Uh-oh.
interesting.
Uh-oh.
There's a difference though. A good tanker
You are
is
more vulnerable. It is true, but it's
it-
still the same principle.
a good tanker is hard to be a good tanker because there's so many people that play assault because it has some of the automatic weapons that are easy to use and kill with. You have to deal with a lot of shit. And to keep a tank up for a long period of time is actually a skill set if it isn't the heavy tank. Heavy tank is easy.
Is the heavy tank like the Land Raider one with the big?
It's the big square box.
Which one is the tank with the one player on this side, one
That's
player
the land ship. That's
Okay, land ship.
the land ship is the skill tank.
Yeah, I saw somebody like he was shooting, then he went like this, then the guy shot the other tank, then he turned around, then the other guy shot the other tank, then killed
Dude,
him.
have you ever seen what a tank buster can do to the heavy tank? It literally would kill it in less than 2 seconds.
I'm not really tank. I run around on foot.
Watch my land ship video. I go over all the land ship.
What do you think about the artillery
It's-
truck? I think it's one of the best in the game. Wings of Redemption.
The artillery truck is a high tier tank. I'm not going to disagree with you, but I labeled the artillery truck as a selfish tank. It's saying that with the light tank, you're basically grabbing a tank. You're stopping your ability to spawn on your teammates, stopping ability to have like supporting roles in the tank themselves. Like for example, here's an example. I was playing Giant Shadow, and we had the F, the E, the C, and the D flags on Giant Shadow. Instead of pushing up with that tank, what I did is I drove back and forth behind the blimp, allowing people to use my tank as a spawn beacon to constantly reinforce the C and the D flag. So we won the game strictly because of that. If I was in an artillery truck, all I could do was kill people. That's it. Kill people and set traps up for other tanks. And like you lose that factor. Yes, you get more kills because you have a very, infantry, slaying tank, but you lose the ability to help your team.
But what about the anti-aircraft truck when there's a good pilot destroying your team?
How often do you see a good pilot that can actually kill people on the ground?
Well, this one time in Bandcap, he was at top range and...
Right. Now you give me one example. I've got 16 days played. I think I've seen probably 10 people that can kill people on ground to the point that's annoying. That's annoying somebody. Most people can't kill people on the ground, though. Would you not agree with this?
I do agree when you're talking about superior PC players versus PlayStation 4.
Superior PC where the planes are worse.
You mean when it's easier to fly on PlayStation 4?
Honestly, the players are better on PC.
But the fact is, the planes are harder to use with the keyboard and the mouse. So
They'll
like,
use pads for that.
Controller.
yeah, there's better pilots on the PlayStation.
Wings, you'll get shitted on. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I doubt it. I highly doubt.
Yeah, this conversation, it always goes the same way. What is certainly true is that the way you think about the game won't disappear when you play on PC, right? So how you play tactically and the game sense that you apply to the game that is also another factor in your success on PlayStation will not disappear. So you'll do better than like just a random person on PC. But if you're playing against top 20% PC players, you will be shocked. I think most console players will be shocked at how good they are.
I won't be shocked because I'm looking at it this way. I'm in the top 1% in the world. That's even counting PC stats. And everybody ahead of me is a fucking Automatico whore. Every one of them. Nearly every person ahead of me is an Automatico whore on PC. Like they use the Automatico trench, and that's all they use, and they run assault. And like, are they going to be faster than me? Will they be better with a mouse and keyboard than me? All these answers are yes. But like I've always said it like this: PC has a higher ceiling for a great player. Like there's a higher ceiling for a great player, but it also has a lower floor.
That's certainly true.
Because the factors in what makes a good player.
Boy, there are some terrible people on PC. Come on, man.
That's 100% true, Wings.
Yeah.
But the PlayStation people also have aim assist on their guns, where the PC guys don't. White boy.
Yeah, so that
unless they plug a controller in, there's a big hoo-ha about that in the PC community at the moment.
But the fact is, like somebody like an X-Cow, somebody like a Shalola deck, somebody like a fucking X Factor, all these guys, right? They are really, really good with the mouse and keyboard. And like to say like I couldn't like pick the game up and in 2 weeks get to their level is being naive.
No, No, I don't think that's naive. I think the mechanical practice it takes to get good at a mouse and keyboard takes longer than 2 weeks. By a long, long way.
Well,
Hold
I'm
on,
gonna put
you
it this
can
way:
pick up a mouse and keyboard in 2 weeks?
in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you played 8 hours a day, maybe, but you would most likely, most PC players.
I'm not trying to say I could be. I'm not saying I could beat XCal in a gunfight in 2 weeks. I'm saying I could, if XCal wasn't in that lobby, I could look like XCal to somebody foreign in 2 weeks.
No. Here's what happens when you learn mouse and keyboard.
One of those people in the lobby. I think you'll be one of those bad people in the lobby in 2 weeks.
Here's what happens. PC players, either if you're left or right-handed, depends. You'll pick up one skill faster than the other. So either you'll get good with your right hand and you have good hand-eye coordination anyway from console. So your right hand, your actual aim.
I'm more good with the right hand. The left hand is my struggle with the PC.
Okay. So you've already discovered which is your dominant hand.
Yeah.
The best PC players have actually having right hand accuracy and being quick and being able to flick and hold target and all that kind of stuff. If you're good at shooters and you've played games for a long time, that doesn't take the longest in my experience. What actually takes the longest is to have like the really good advanced movement, is to have your left hand be in as much command of its skill set as your right.
To remember where all
So
these...
like good PC players, their strafe is fucking sick. All right. You can get 2 players with exactly the same aim, and whoever's got the better strafe will shit on that other player like 9 times out of 10. So the thing that is hard and the thing that requires the most practice is the left hand, actually, in a lot of games, because, you know, if you've played Quake or you played a Counter-Strike of some kind, your left hand technique has to be, that's one of the core components to the game. Whereas if you're playing like COD on PC, I mean, it's not really that bad. Or if you've played COD on console or whatever, if you've never played anything that as a barrier of entry requires your left hand to be as strong, you won't be as good. And that takes longer than 2 weeks. Let me just tell you.
My problem with my left hand is the way I hold the keyboard. Like I position a lot of my PC gameplay from like the home row keys. Like I'll put my pointer finger on the F.
I slant mine, Jive.
Yeah.
And unlike games like Battlefield, you need to have your middle finger on the W key and not your ring finger. Because I use my ring finger, and that allows that the left side of my character can't command my movement as well, right? And I need to adjust over, and I just don't want to take the time to learn that skill set. Because when I play Fallout or if I play Diablo or any other game I might play on PC, like my setup works fine because I'm not in a situation where I have to shave milliseconds off my movements.
Yeah, it's just the precision of their strafe and stuff, and that's what makes those top level players so much better. Like I've played COD against people who are obviously good in the lobby on PC, like they got really good aim or whatever, and you know I like to think when I warm up I can be pretty good. But I have played against people that I'm like, no, you're definitely a tier above me. Like you're definitely, and
there's players out there. I'm not trying to sit here claim like I'm the best player ever. I'm just saying like I can look like one of the best players ever if you gave me a couple weeks with the mouse.
I think
you might do the bad lobby and tear some people up.
You're acting like there's an X in every game. There's not. Like I played PC shooters before. I've played Battlefield on PC.
No. I'm saying you're gonna get. You're gonna do good in general because you know whether to, like, some of these people don't know, like they get in a gunfight and they get shot 3 times, they might pop back out, but you know to run and leave and then come back. Like your smarts will.
My point of view is awareness. Awareness is what people lack, and that goes uniformly across the platforms. The thing with people in Battlefield is they have no fucking awareness whatsoever. Like they'll sit there, they'll have their tunnel vision on what that little section of map they decided to have their tunnel vision on, and they're unaware where they're losing flags. They're unaware that that things are going on around them. They're unaware where the enemy movements are on the map.
But I'm really gonna tell you this. Battlefield it's not that many people playing Battlefield on PC, and they're the hardcore people that are playing. It's way more good people than on PlayStation. Like you got a bigger chance to run into 3 squads of
Yeah.
good people on the opposite teams. Like 3 full squads of real good people. Like a beast fucking pilot on one squad and the other squad. And they're on the other team of you. They're on the
Right,
opposite
it's because the
team.
community's smaller.
Like they are really good players, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's like
Yeah, but like at the same time, I've seen the Swans, not the down the Swans here, but I've seen him go into PC games and do well, like on Battlefield. I'm like, I not to disrespect the Swans, but like I
You
could
would
probably
be
pick
better
the
than the
game.
Schwartz in 2 weeks, I think. I'm sorry.
I'm
Brian,
probably
I
better
love
than him now.
I'm sorry, Brian. I love you.
Literally,
My
I could
friend,
download the
my
game
buddy,
now.
my
and I would
brother.
be better than him.
You would be
some
better than
games I'll
Brian.
be watching the Swans. Like some games he'd be like, whoa, shooting like that. And then some games he looked good. You're like, can he play?
This is what happens to you. I hate to tell everyone who isn't over 30 who's watching this. What happens when you get over 30? Brian has this, I have this, is that the top peak of how good you could be appears every once in a while. All right, maybe 1 every 10 games. And this happens to me all the time in Overwatch, Call of Duty, Battlefield, and I am unstoppable for like this one game. I am absolutely on fire. I am killing everything. All my decisions are perfect, all that kind of stuff. What happens when you get older is when you're younger, the gaps between those games, everyone has those, but the gaps between them aren't as far apart. When you get older, the gaps between being at your peak level and your I don't even know what I'm doing level get wider. So Brian will have those games where he kills everything, and then he'll have like 20 games where he doesn't.
I'm the anomaly here. I'm a better player now than I was at 25.
I'm gonna tell you this, Wings. You're gonna struggle with stuff like melee.
What's my grenade?
Yeah.
What?
Reload and then
Grenades are G, knifing.
You can bind them all. You can bind them all. It's not really that much.
You can bind them all, but usually you want to keep it kind of the same.
Yeah, but like I've never played a PC game, Job. I play PC games almost exclusively.
I know that, but I'm just saying when you're getting shot at or something, and you didn't play them in a while, you said you don't play COD or you don't play Battlefield on PC, and then
there's a reason I don't play them. Like Battlefield, like Call of Duty, Black Ops 3, like. I don't want to play Nuketown 24/7, and that's what you get to play on Black Ops 3. You get to play Nuketown 24/7.
Black Ops 3's port on PC was horrible, by the way. The aim was totally fucked. Well, it was for me. It wasn't for everybody else.
It's like, and I'm sure there's like other maps, like in Black Ops 2. I'm sure like Hijack 24/7 existed, and Nuketown 24/7 existed on that too.
Okay, you still that doesn't.
I'm sure the remaster is pretty much all shipment and like maybe a crash. I'm sure that exists.
Okay,
do you know what looks really fun?
You don't play PC. That's what I'm saying.
Do you know what looks really fun? I wish this was a thing on PC. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I watch a lot of Hex and Hutch and Optic Diesel play Old Main of Optic, and they play GBs on Modern Warfare Remastered. That shit, their chemistry between those 4 guys, and they have Optic J as well. Their chemistry makes it really entertaining on Hutch's stream because it's funny because they bitch at each other. And I would love to play Modern Warfare Remastered in that context. Like search and destroy, GB rules. There's none of the fucking bullshit. There's no martyrdom. There's none of that shit. All right. It just looks really fun. And I wish there was that sort of community on PC, but I doubt there is because we should do that. We should totally do that. Like Modern Warfare Remastered on PC, GBs. I would play the shit out of that with you 3. I would absolutely love to do that.
Wings, you think you die fast on fucking PlayStation?
I couldn't do Call of Duty on PC.
On PC, you die so fucking.
Not without a controller.
You can play it with a controller.
Yeah, like because I played the Black Ops 3 beta on PC with a controller, and I dominated every lobby. Every lobby, I was the top guy. I had a 4 KD on PC with a controller.
Yeah, that's good. PC,
that was the beta. That was when it was free and everybody was trying it out.
No. You would have did good on regular PC. Because they said I never played with
the aim assist was really hardcore because I had played the PlayStation 4 beta and then I went to the PC beta and they doubled the aim assist from the PlayStation.
Yeah, they said it's stronger than ever before.
It was strong as fuck, dude. Like you literally, like the Sheva in the beta was a one-shot kill to the head with high caliber, and like all you had to do is like aim toward a direction and it pop you right onto the head, and you just get a bang, 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 bang. It's like holy shit.
I heard a lot of the top players bitching about that, and like they could just sense it.
Because there was
like,
this British guy I played with that he played with Eddie all the time. What was his name?
That boy's Syrian.
Not Syrian. No, it wasn't Syrian. It wasn't Syrian. It was one of Eddie's friends at the time.
ITEP or something?
No. It was like Dan something. It might not have been Eddie. It was one of my British friends, but he really loved my channel. And he was like one of those Syrian Excal players. And like, dude,
aren't you just thinking about me, Wings? Surely.
No, I'm not thinking about you.
I
like I couldn't, but I would trade kills with him with a controller and he hated it.
Yeah, Nate.
I would take that though. If games were cross-platform, PC and console, I would take dying to aim assist just for the player numbers. I would take it. I would be like, you know what? It's fun for us all to play together. I'm playing this 144 hertz at like 90 FOV. You can keep your 60 FOV with your aim assist. That's fine.
I talk all the shit about PC, but if like they had allowed mouse and keyboard on PlayStation Pro, I would do it. I would take the skimp and learn the controller setting to do it.
They said it soon or something.
It's supposed to be doing that. It's supposed to be implementing a mouse and keyboard on the PlayStation Pro, so you can use it in regular games. And it's like, I will take the time to learn mouse and keyboard. If you're giving me the option to have a better set of controls, I will take it.
Wings, will you honestly take the time to learn, or would you be playing? Fuck, he's doing better than the controller.
No, I take the time, dude. I'm not that much worse with the mouse and keyboard.
No, I'm just telling. I know how competitive you are.
I know how competitive I am, but like you're making it think like I'm going to be like walking into a wall because I can't use WASD.
You will.
No, I would, dude. I did a Let's Play on Fallout at the highest level.
You said you use your ring finger for W.
Yes. And I know you can't do that because you lose your left side. I lose my left turn.
Strafe? The pinky finger don't even react fast enough for you to strafe left and right. Wings, you're gonna get fucked up.
I mean, my pinky finger is pretty good. I mean, like, but the fact is, the fact is, Jive, I don't play PC enough to adjust. Like I said, I would adjust so my middle finger's there. Instead of
thank you. Okay.
Like but as it sits right now, the amount I play PC very casually, I don't take the time to learn a new finger placement.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we keep whining, I guess, as ex-COD players in Battlefield. I run a channel on a completely different game now, but I tell you one community who are really suffering right now. We think we got it bad, dude. The Destiny guys have nothing to do for almost a year. Till the next game. Nothing. Absolutely nothing to do. The game is totally empty. All the best streamers are like struggling to like find shit to do. There's nothing for them to do. And I'm like,
so essentially they're playing Destiny.
Yeah, essentially they're playing Destiny. But there was always like new weapons to get and new events that would come out. Like Iron Banner's on at the moment, but it's the same guns and there's nothing. And I have to say, like, I think Destiny's a really bad sign for games, actually, because we've shit on it a number of times, but there is a community out there that likes playing it, and I totally understand why they like playing it. And they're going to have to wait until fuck knows when to make the second game. And I just feel bad for them. We're complaining. We're like, oh, there's 2 CODs out at the moment. No one's playing one of them. I mean, it's just like, you know.
I don't consider myself a COD player.
It makes my food taste funny, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Dude, I still get the Euro COD player stuff.
I'm so glad I'm not a Call of Duty channel. For the first time in years, I'm finally gaining subscribers. For years, I was losing 50 a day. Now I'm gaining like 200.
I lose subs on every day. I lose 100 subs a day.
Every time I upload, I lose subs. So.
Every time I upload, I lose 150.
I don't know what it is. Like,
it's a YouTube glitch.
Upload, bye, goodbye.
I consider myself. I have about 20,000 subscribers. That's where I consider myself at. Like I have 20,000 active subscribers and about 10,000 watch my video.
And everybody with a 2011, 2012, 2011, 2010 channel or below.
2008.
say the same shit. Like when they upload, them fucking subs are gone. Like,
Well, like literally some of our subscribers are dead, like literally dead. Like they died in car accidents, they drug overdosed, they maybe got
all
shot.
of my subs are beasts. They all probably they alive somewhere.
Like I met a subscriber the other day that like he's dealing with like a huge drug addiction and it's like holy shit, like he started watching me when he was like 13. Now he's like a young adult with a drug addiction.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's like,
What would you say to him right now?
I can't say shit to him. Like I'd be hypocritical anything I said to him. I mean, like if I had to give him like like advice
You
that
on
took me out of
drugs?
no, I ain't on drugs.
Well,
But
you won't be a hypocrite then.
you see this record, Joe?
Oh shit. Yeah, but
Look, I can almost take the entire camera up with my girth, but
what that got to do with drugs?
that's an addiction. Like I have an addictive personality as well, and how am I going to sit there and tell another person that you don't need this thing in your
That I
life
wish you
when
well.
I had the same problem?
That I
The
wish
only-
you well. If somebody said, "Job, what would you say to your sub right now?" I would say, "I wish you well."
That's pointless. So that is
I
pointless
genuinely,
advice.
I genuinely, there is no.
It's pointless. It is.
It is
No,
pointless
Giving them
advice.
hope is pointless.
That's not hope.
I
That's
understand
not
what
hope.
Wings is saying because the only advice that you should really give someone in that position is seek help, but that doesn't mean anything.
It
Well,
doesn't.
obviously, like it's like, well, duh, but it is the only advice that you can.
No,
give.
but what if he doesn't listen to anybody, but he'll listen to you? How is it pointless?
That is a good.
It doesn't
That's a
work
good
like
point. But
Just
I'm
look-
looking at it like this way. I had a girl call me the other day, Jive,
Oh
and
shit.
she was worried about this bill that she had to pay, right? And instead of giving her money, what I gave her was reassurance. I mean, like, look, go ahead and pay that. Go and pay that $70, and because your credibility is worth more than $70, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if things fall down between here and the time that you get this other money, I got you. I got you. You can fall back on me. And that's what she needed to hear. She didn't need money. She didn't need things. She needed reassurance. And when somebody comes to you and they look at you as like a mentor and you go, well, I wish you well. To me, that is the shallowest way of dealing with that person's problem. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they want to leave that conversation with something of substance, and I don't feel like that statement gives them the substance that they're desiring.
True.
I feel you, but that sometimes that person just needs that one little pep talk from somebody they look up to.
I mean, like look here, look at this motherfucker right here.
I don't know if I believe that, Jive. I don't know if I believe that.
Look at this leg. Now look at this leg. Look at him again. This leg right here is swelling up, right? And I'm probably a borderline diabetic, and I'm going untreated. And there's a good chance that I could lose my right leg in the next couple of years if I don't change the way I live. And that still does not motivate me not to get Wendy's.
Okay.
Like, that's how strong addiction is. That's what that is. And it's like, a pep talk might not work on a person like that because pep talks are meaningless. Motivational speeches are meaningless. Watching YouTube videos about people that's done stuff for me is meaningless because they'll motivate me for that day. They'll motivate me for maybe 2 days, but eventually that hunger will set in and that sickness will set in and that bad feeling will set in and the headaches will set in. It's like you get hit with like 3 or 4 different facets of things. And it just breaks you. It breaks you because the answer to fix all this is something you enjoy anyway. You physically enjoy it. It gives you a euphoria.
Yeah,
I'm still not seeing why you can't tell this guy to get help though. I'm still,
I mean, I could tell him to get help, but like I
thing-
wouldn't want to be in that position because I don't give him
registering.
anything of substance.
It's also, I think, a lot to put on someone. Actually, on some level, I think it's a lot to put on someone that you don't know that you enjoy their entertainment from the internet. Hey, I'm really fucked up. Help me. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to just be like, nah, fend for yourself, right? I would never do that. But it's a lot to put on somebody.
You tell the truth. I'm not a psychiatrist or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not qualified, and that's why you have to say.
I will try. I will try. I wouldn't just look at me. Look at me.
Yeah, I don't think Wings is saying that. I don't think Wings is saying that. I think Wings is like being compassionate and being like, listen, dude, I'm not better than you. I can't tell you what to do because I suffer with my own demons. Like that's the picture I'm getting from Wings. But like when he says it's meaningless, I kind of feel that sometimes. If someone's in a really dark place, like I have been many times in my personal life, and it doesn't matter what someone says to you because you're not listening to yourself, right? You can't listen to somebody else. Like, here's someone I look up to, and they told me that I should stop with the drugs. Okay?
How did you get help?
I sort it out myself. I made the decision. You'll find this with a lot of ex-addicts, is that it gets to a point, they call it rock bottom, but that's a lie, by the way. Everyone watch it. Rock bottom is a lie. There's way more rock bottoms than you think there is. Mm-hmm. You think you hit rock bottom. Nah, son.
It's a tiered system.
It's a tiered system, and it's bullshit. It's not just like, oh, I bought the ticket, I got the ride, I took the roller coaster. This is the rock bottom roller coaster. No, it doesn't work like that. It gets progressively worse and worse and worse and worse. And you think you've got to a point where it can't get worse than this. All right, I'll change it around. Nah, it can.
Just imagine that there's homeless people sucking other homeless people's dicks that hadn't showered in like 2 weeks for crack rock.
Yeah, right.
I mean, like, they're not at rock bottom yet.
Different, right? People's rock bottoms are different. But it did get to the point to me where I was like, there's a moment of clarity people talk about, where you just go, you understand that what's happening is essentially you're doing it to yourself. It's like people who cut. Right, that's a more obvious version of self-destruction. Drug addiction, all that kind of stuff. Any addiction is basically self-destruction. I feel these are my personal feelings. I'm not a doctor. Please don't listen to me like I'm a doctor. I'm not saying that you would, but don't. It's all to do with incredibly low self-esteem, and it's self-destruction. It's self-loathing. It's a deep-rooted self-loathing, and it's destruction by drugs or escapism, or you don't want to confront truths about yourself or your life or all that kind of shit. And eventually what happened to me was I was like, I can't continue hurting myself. Basically, I have to stop or it'll kill me. And so I sought help, and that's the truth. I know that, having gone through it. So that's why I said the only thing you can say is go get help, seek help, right? Because I know that if they do survive, that's how they'll do it, is they will make the decision. There's nothing we can say or do, and this is why addiction is so frustrating. There's nothing we can say or do to take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? Like they'll either get to the point where they seek help and make a change in their lives, or they won't and they'll die. That is as stark as it gets. It's that 50. It is black and white. They'll either make a choice to stop hurting themselves and survive, or they'll die. And
death isn't always a deal breaker for some people.
Yeah, it's like, well, that's not the worst option to some people, right? And that's the tragedy.
I mean, and death is never always the worst option. There was a story just the other day of like an 8-year-old kid that lived in a bathroom for 2 years, and like he was 30 pounds. And it's like, I would never want to live that life. Like, I'd never want to live in a bathroom and not eat and live in darkness and so weak I can't pull tape off of the light switch.
Death is always the worst option.
It's not always the worst option. There's things worse than death.
So what if he lived in there, he died?
No, he died.
He obviously wasn't there of his own volition. I mean, he's fucking too.
His father came to see how he was, and like his father found him in the bathroom, took him, busted the bathroom door down and took him to the hospital.
So you don't think,
dude, as a father, how would that make you feel, man? How the fuck would that?
I would be furious,
dude. It's lucky that someone didn't die there. If you found someone doing not everyone has this parental attachment to kids. I don't have kids, but I can imagine if I had broken up with a partner and the child was with them, and then I go over and I find this human being that we created together, like tortured like a little animal. She'd be lucky to make it out of there alive, I think. like just from me, I think of myself like a rational person, but that's really lucky someone didn't die. Like
That's crazy, Eddie.
That's crazy shit. Can you imagine? Can you imagine seeing like your kid like that? And it was like
the toilet's got shit overflowing in it. The bathtub has got empty cans of beans that he's been living off.
You don't think his dad coming to get him, and now most likely he's gonna live with his dad from now on. You think death was a better option than getting rescued?
I'm just saying, like, if you gave me that choice to live 2 years in a bathroom without food, in the darkness, in death,
and then being rescued,
I'd probably choose death every time. They say suicide is the end of all opportunity. I understand that.
They say suicide is a temporary solution to a permanent problem.
It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I mean, I've heard the sayings and stuff like that, but there's things in life I would rather die than go through. For example, in Battlefield 1, in the fucking operations, they talk about the Ottomans, and it's talked about in the English side of it. England is trying to get oil for the war machines and stuff, so they attack the Ottomans. And the Ottoman Empire has to walk across the Sahara Desert carrying full equipment. And like at the end of that trip, which is going to take probably a month of walking through desert heat, you got to fight the Great British Empire, and you most likely are going to die. I'd be like, shoot me now, fam. Shoot me now. I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it. No, it's like there's loads of shit that happened in, like, you think about the Battle of the Somme or whatever that is in the European front, but there's just like rich guys, essentially, right? Lords and ladies, right? Well, not ladies, but lords who get promoted through nepotism up the military ladder, who are in some chalet somewhere miles away from the front, and they're sending 20-year-olds, 18-year-olds up over the top into machine guns for months at a time without grasping the horrendous human cost that is. That was their best plan. That was Haig's best plan, was how do we defeat these amazingly defended, hard to take areas? We'll just throw life at it. Like, fuck you, I ain't going over. When you sound that whistle, I ain't going over that. Fuck you.
I'm gonna go so far as, like, I've looked at some of like the battle plans of World War I. I could come up with better battle plans.
Yeah, it's like retarded shit. It's like there's this wall of death. What should we do? Well, what we'll do is
How about we cut the supply lines off? How about we get around behind them and cut off the supply lines?
No. Their plan was, well, it's a really high wall of death, so we'll throw so many people's lives at it that all the dead bodies will pile up and we'll be able to climb over the top. That's essentially it. That's essentially the plan. And that shit really happened.
And this happens after Centurions and Romans and all these books of war were written about doing things.
After Sun Tzu,
like there's actual books they could have read during that time that showed like military tactics and like strategy and how to deal with people, you know.
But because he was like the royal cousin of some fuckwit from somewhere, he wasn't questioned because that's how strict the class system was. Like, that's nuts. Fuck that. I ain't going over the top. You can fucking shoot me. And they did.
Straight.
They did shoot them.
They did shoot them for deserting.
They did shoot them. People who were like, nah, fuck you. I ain't going. There's like miles of mud and dead bodies and barbed wire and gas.
Well, and some of those bodies aren't dead. Some of those bodies are crying out there because they're dying and they're asking you to shoot them.
Yeah. And you're asking me to go and become part of that layer. Nah, man. I'm sorry. I'll take
that's the only decision that's a tough decision.
No, I take firing squad every day of the week.
Every day of the week.
I just try to escape.
Well, they find you and shoot you, but it doesn't.
I mean, what about other situations? Like, would you rather die, Jive, right now from a bullet in the head, or be a Jewish person in Auschwitz during like early in the war? Like, you're in like 1942, you're in Auschwitz, so you're going to have to go 2.5 years of surviving off of like bread and a thimble of water, and that there's a good chance you're going to die in that time and watch your family die around you.
Yeah, but we know that won't happen now.
Right, but I'm just saying there's choices that are worse than death.
Yeah, but you're talking about shit that,
like, even if you survive that, you're never going to live your life the same again.
You're talking about in hindsight, like after it happened already.
It could still happen again.
That's like
How
saying,
did we
what
get
if
started on this conversation? Oh,
Because Trump is Trump's first day of presidency right now.
all right, yeah. It's inaugurated today, so welcome to the Fourth Reich, everybody.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
but
are you guys wishing for Trump's demise? Like,
no, I don't wish the
not
death
death,
of any
not
man.
death. I'm talking about, are you rooting for him to fail as a president?
That's
No,
bad. That's bad for
here's the reason I don't root for Trump to fail as a presidency, because Mike Pence is worse. At least Trump can be influenced outside of his brain. Like if somebody sits down with Trump and convinces him this is a good idea, he will go with that idea, regardless of if it's a good idea or not. And that will lead you to believe that he can be made to make choices that aren't the standard Republican choices. Mike Pence is a person that hates gay people, believes that the Bible is a fictional recreation of things that happen. Like there was an actual flood with Noah, that, so there's a magical being that snapped his fingers and like planets appeared that created star systems and all these other things.
But there was a flood. There was a big flood, Wings.
Yeah, there probably was. Like all these things, they don't come from.
There was not an actual flood that flooded to the
have an
top of
element
Mount
of truth
Everest.
in.
It didn't exist. Didn't happen. We know it didn't happen because of fossil records.
No, there's fossils of ocean creatures on top of mountains.
And
I'm not saying the whole world flooded. I'm not saying the whole world flooded.
Because the Bible says it flooded to the point there's like 2 miles of land were underneath, like 2 miles up. The story of Noah is actually the legend of Gilgamesh, like retold. Like
It's probably just a large puddle, and they were like, "Damn."
It was probably something. It was probably something like the China had a really bad flood. I don't know what the year, but it was a long time ago. And basically, there's a river in China called the Yellow River. And it had a flood, and it's one of the worst disasters humankind has ever had. And it killed something like 400,000 or 500,000 people because of the way the China's low inlands were designed. And like those kind of floods happen, but there was never a flood of biblical proportions that literally encompassed all land on earth.
I mean, that's quite a flood.
No, what happened is that flood got retold over and over and over, and eventually it was this humongous flood.
Right,
but you realize that, white boy. What Wings is saying is that Mike Pence doesn't. Mike Pence
doesn't. He believes that it's fictional, that a man that was 600 years old built a boat and put every animal in the earth on that boat. Like, that's the reason I don't want Trump to fail.
It could have happened.
It could have happened. How big would that boat have to be? Every animal on earth.
How much shit would you have to shovel every day?
How much food would you need on the boat?
How would you stop the other animals from eating each other? What about animals with short lifespans that don't live a month?
Yeah, isn't there like a fly that lives like an hour?
Yeah, it's like
that's why you have 2 of them.
True. Well, then you wouldn't have enough genetic diversity for the colony to survive.
Are we all fucking retarded because we're incest babies over and over and over?
Yeah.
Well, how about this, white boy? You had Cain, Abel, and Seth, and then all of them magically get wives. All right. Well, you have Adam and Eve, and they had 3 children together. They had Cain, Abel, and Seth. All 3 of those are boy names, right? You can deduce all 3 of. If you met a Seth, a Cain, and an Abel, you think they would be boys. All right. Then where did the 3 wives come from that they had later on in the Genesis?
Well, technically, there was a shark in an Australian aquarium that asexually reproduced.
Right. There are animals that reproduce asexually. Humans are not one of them.
How did we get onto this? Oh, Trump. So Trump was inaugurated today.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my thing, right? I am a liberal, right? I am. Mm-hmm. I don't mind admitting it. It's a dirty word these days.
I'm a libertard myself, but yeah.
But here's one thing that I think is definitely true, is that liberals are bad losers. I've noticed. We can't handle as a group. We can't handle the fact that people don't think the same as we do. And I think it's a really ugly trait. I think the only way that this ever gets better is if people give each other a break every once in a while. Like, it's so, especially in the American discourse, it's so partisan that it seems like people can't agree on anything. Like, it's crazy. And liberals in particular cannot believe that people were like, we don't think exactly the same as you, so we're going to vote in the opposite direction. That's crazy to me. Like, it's one thing to be like,
but you're a liberal in like a country that your right wing is our left wing. Like you're coming from that perspective.
They can be pretty right wing. Like there's some of them that want to destroy the NHS, want to make everything private. We do have those people who, we don't have.
But they don't get
we don't have
credence. They don't get
libertarians.
credence at all.
No, they do. They're in power now. We have a Tory government.
Yeah, but like they would never run on a platform like, yeah, we're getting rid of the NHS.
No, there'd be a revolution. But
Right, but the majority of our population believes that private healthcare is better than a public option.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. It's just such a different context. It just feels to me. Yeah, it just feels to me like it's so.
We live in a world like where you have let's I'm gonna use Whiteboy as an example. If Whiteboy is waking up, he has to go work at his factory job. Whiteboy works at Ithaca Gun Company. He drives a forklift. All right, so he wakes up at 5:30 in the morning, takes a shower, fucking brushes his teeth. He goes out to his car. It's fucking Chicago, so it's cold as fuck. So he's got to pull the ice off his windshield. He's got to clean it off. And he looks over, and then there's Eddie. Eddie is sitting on his front porch drinking orange juice. Eddie is unemployed. Eddie is living off the system. He's smoking a cigarette, drinking orange juice.
Cigarette? Come on now.
Yeah. And
I'm blazing.
Yeah.
In this example, not in real life.
Yeah. And Whiteboy looks at him and he's upset. But Whiteboy overdoes it. He's like, all right, whatever. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to do good for my family. I got to bring home the bacon. So he does his 12 hours at Ithaca Gun Company. He gets off work. And Eddie just happens to be on the front porch again. Hey, and he waves to him. He's like, hey, how you doing? And all Whiteboy's thinking about is that he just worked 12 hours. His feet fucking hurt. And this guy is getting some of his money. That's all he's thinking about. And that's our country. That's as far as it goes. That's as far as it goes. They go to
and then Jive walks up, and he's black, and then them two white, and then they got something.
No. If Jive walks past, I'm like,
if Jive walks past, they're calling the police. If Jive walks by, they're both calling the police, and he's going to get profiled.
Right, exactly. And then they're friends. Boom. So it all works out.
But that's the way people see it. People are so afraid that somebody might benefit off of their sweat that they don't want anybody to benefit off of it but themselves.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. I think America's a beautiful country in a lot of ways. I really do.
It is a beautiful country in a lot of ways, but we have too much nomadicism in our country. Too many people want to stand on their own. And the only reason you ever stand on your own is to be isolated. And when you isolate yourself, you make yourself easier to defeat, be it taxes, be it corporations, be it medical plans. The only way that you get the best end of the deal is when you stand together united. That's why it's called the United States. We're designed to stand together. We work, we move in clans. We naturally want to have human companionship because it's in our nature to. But this whole I work my job, I pay my bills, that's all that should fucking matter. Fuck everybody else. You got to get rid of that. As a community, we are stronger than we are as individuals. And that's the reason I get so upset and I lose so badly. Because I look at a Trump presidency or a Mike Pence presidency or Paul Ryan presidency as going backwards when we want to be going forwards. I want every person in the United States to have health care. I want every person in the United States to have a least legitimate shot at the American dream. And these things aren't going to happen when everybody's standing individually. When everybody's only going for their best interest, you're going to have people stepping on other people.
During his speech today, he clearly said, America first. Sorry, world, but we're putting our interests
I'm saying
first.
that what's going to happen is what I was talking about
playing to
earlier.
their base nature, I think, is what he said.
He's going to Trump presidency is going to consist of two things. It's going to consist of tax cuts. It's going to consist of things that people felt like they were wrong, such as the ACA. And it's also going to consist of things that really help corporations in America, such as this killing off net neutrality, dealing out regulations, putting tariffs on companies like Toyota and other companies that come in and deal with the United States. And then it's going to hit a bad point probably about 2 years in where American companies are going to start threatening to leave unless they get even more tax breaks, just like he did with Carrier. He got Carrier to keep jobs in the United States by giving them tax breaks. And what's going to end up happening is other companies are going to follow suit. How long do you think it's going to be till Apple will be like, yo, we're going to pick up shop and go to another country?
They already do. They're manufacturing.
Right, but I'm talking about completely. We're not paying any American taxes unless you give us a good deal.
Well, they pay very little, I think. I
Pay very little right now, but other companies are going to do it too. It's going to be to the point where it's like they're gonna have us by the fucking balls, and it's like.
But here's the thing: is like all that is a result of a global market, right? So the reason that exists is because there's labor cheaper elsewhere, right? People are undercutting American labor force, and some governments are. If you're a very poor country, it's in your populace's interest to offer very cheap labor comparative to Americans, but still good jobs for where your people are in terms of their economic scale, and give the company that wants to come in massive tax breaks, right? So paying virtually no tax. This happened in Ireland with Apple, for example, right? And it's in their interest, these like poorer countries' interest, to get more of their populace with a good paying job, right? So that's the global economy. It doesn't really matter where you're the labor for what you do.
But like good paid job is subjective. Like Nike pays $2.50 a week to people that puts the shoes together.
Yeah, but
and like there's no country on earth that will compete with that.
No, but what they do is it's funny that some people. I mean, I don't have an amazing grasp of this stuff, so don't take me as like thinking I know what I'm talking about. But I get the impression that a lot of the people in, you know, like the World Bank and the IMF and all those kinds of organizations, they're coming together to kind of tariff set so that corporations can't get away with just going wherever they want and never paying any tax anywhere and stuff like that, because even though they might be fairly, you know, economically conservative, they understand that you can't just not pay tax and take infinite profits, and all countries suffer if you do that. Essentially, like every economy suffers if you just let these massive corporations get their way all the time. But if you're going to give tax breaks to these people and you're saying, well, and that's what's going to keep the jobs in America, America lives on an inflated economy compared to the rest of the world. American workers get paid a lot compared to the rest of the world. They have a much higher quality of life. They're very fussy compared to like Chinese workers.
Actually, England gets paid better than American workers.
Yes, we do, and we take more holiday. So in that way, the populace gets used to a much better life, right?
I mean, the average American right now, Eddie, has less than $500 in their savings account.
Yeah.
That's 67%.
And you guys pay less tax than we do.
Sorta.
No, you do. You do, absolutely.
If you want to go down to the brass tacks, we pay less tax. But there's a lot of things in our country that should be labeled as tax, but isn't. And I can give you an example of one that's coming through the pipe right now. We have South Carolina is banning pornography on new computer machines. So if you buy a laptop in the state of South Carolina, there is going to be a piece of software that's going to be installed in that laptop that blocks you from watching internet porn.
What?
This is a legitimate thing, all right? But the manufacturer can opt out of putting the software on their computers if they pay the government of South Carolina $20 US. Right? So what's going to end up happening is...
That's just organized crime. That's just a protection racket.
Like what's going to end up happening is that the manufacturers are going to pay this money, and then they're going to pass that savings on to the customer. You know, you're going to
pass the cost on. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to pass the cost on, and that's essentially a tax.
Yeah.
That's essentially a tax that you don't call a tax.
Yeah, it's a porn tax.
And who the fuck doesn't watch internet porn?
And that is, and there's hundreds of those all strewn out through America that don't get counted as tax. Because as long as when you tag the word tax onto something, people don't want to pay it. But if you pass it on as like, oh, this is legislation, you pay it or you don't pay it, who's not going to pay the $20? Like if I bought a new machine, I would pay that $20 because I want to watch porn every now and then.
Every now and then.
Yeah.
I would pay that $20 though. That is.
You know, it's like.
That's easy money for them.
So what you're saying is that you have a lot of hidden taxes.
We have a lot of hidden taxes. Like if you added all of them together, it might equal what England pays with none of the benefits.
True.
That's fucking crazy, dog.
Yeah. And we
'Cause
have
you'd be like $20 to lift the porn act. You'd be like,
Yeah, but look at it. Look at it this way, John. I live in Myrtle Beach, and in Myrtle Beach we have these things called parking meters, and like you basically are paying for the privilege to park on streets that you paid for. The street was put there by taxpayer money. The parking thing was put there by taxpayer money, and you got to pay money to that parking meter, or you get fined on a street that you already paid for.
don't they?
Hmm?
Don't everybody got parking meters?
That parking meters are a tax. It's a tax because what ends up happening is somewhere down the road, the government of your local place cut somebody else's taxes, and they needed that money to keep the deficit going. They needed that money to pay garbage men. They needed that money to pay like landscape workers. They needed that money to pay judges, and they just couldn't lose the money. But at the same time, they didn't want to lose the jobs. So instead of like keeping that taxes high on this person or this corporation, they passing the savings on to the consumers by parking tickets and things like that. Parking tickets are full of shit for the most part. Like there's a couple legitimate ones, like not blocking fire hydrants and like, keep not blocking entrance ways and things of that nature. But, time-based parking tickets are full of shit.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, you ever see the ones where it isn't any meters there? You could park there, but you got 2 hours.
Right.
Supposed to come up and be like, okay, he parked here at 6:20.
Yeah, there's those there too, and that's all discretion. Like it's who he says, she says, and the officer are always going to win that.
They can easily. I parked at one of them today, and shit, they can easily just lie and say he parked here at 9:45.
Right, and then like I said, if an officer came and wrote you a ticket, like say you parked at 9:45, you go in and get your hair cut, you come back out at 10:30, right? And there's a ticket there. You still got to go to court.
Right.
You still got to go to court. You got to pay the $30 court fee regardless. And then you got to go. It's your words against the cops' word, and the cops always going to get the benefit of the doubt.
And if you got that money in your pocket, you're like, fuck, I don't want to go to court. I might miss work and miss the $120 that I was going to make instead of just paying this $90. You know what I mean?
That's a tax too. That's a racket.
Here's one thing that I don't know if we did a show and we talked about it, but I don't remember us talking about it. You remember when I said, I'm a liberal, but I understand why I think liberals make a mistake when they don't realize that not everybody thinks the same. Did we talk about Meryl Streep?
No, we didn't. That happened last week.
Okay, so Meryl Streep does this like high and mighty speech about art and all this shit and about how it's important. Can I just say, even as a liberal, I find massive celebrities that live like princes and princesses or kings and queens lecturing poor people that don't agree with them as really ugly. I think it's really ugly.
Yes, I do too. I agree with you.
Don't fucking lecture fucking some Republican guy who works his own plumbing business, works his fingers to the bone. Don't you fucking dare lecture that guy about how he should feel. Fuck you. Like you live in an ivory tower. Fuck off. And I'm a liberal. Like a lot of the things she says, I might agree with on some level, but I can't handle that lecturing shit. I think it's so ugly. Don't do that. That just makes us look bad. It makes us look like the liberal elite that they say we are. That's what it makes us fucking look like.
But at the same time,
was she ever a hard worker or
she's right. Listen, let's not fuck about here. These fucking celebrities, at best, they're people that are excellent at lying. I can pretend to be somebody else and you'll believe me. Why the fuck am I listening to you?
No, like seriously, was she ever poor? I don't know who she.
What the fuck? Even if you came from a poor background and you learned how, it's not manual labor, is it? It's not what millions of people.
You can't value that. You can't value that either, Eddie.
If she was a worker, she could lecture you if she was a worker before.
I mean, like what? Look at engineers. Let's say you're a bridge engineer. Like it's not manual labor there, but like if your bridge fails, you're responsible for it. Like you gotta study the soil. You gotta study the aqua life around it. You gotta know how fucking concrete moves and shifts. You gotta know how many connectors you need. You gotta know what's gonna drive over your bridge. Like it's a mentally exhausting job, but it's not physical labor either. And I'm sure actors are hard.
Here's the thing, though. All right. Here's what it comes down to. People who live a life that is relatively or maybe in some cases extremely free from suffering, right? From like survival instinct and all that kind of stuff. Like, we like to think we're evolved as a society. You know, people have got jobs that don't threaten their lives and the safety precautions. No. But most people are one paycheck away from being homeless. Most people, all right? And when you get someone who is so removed from that, all right, that's really what I'm talking about. Like people living on the edge, being lectured by someone who's like, you know, in this ivory tower, sometimes the cushions are a little bit too firm, right? Those people, I'm not going to stand for that person telling the person who's one paycheck away from fucking bankruptcy or being homeless, you know, how you think and feel is really bad. Like, fuck off. All right, just fuck off. I can't stand that shit. I can't stand the moralizing of that shit. It just drives me mad. And I'm a liberal. And you know, if that's happening, it's bad. All right, because I'm on this side.
It makes liberals look bad too. Like I agree with you. That's the reason I don't watch the fucking Oscars or like the Choice Music Awards. I don't.
Yeah, it's just people being like, "Aren't we so great?"
Yeah, I don't want rich people giving each other awards on how much better they are than me. I don't want to find this entertaining.
Yeah,
I just don't watch it because who gives a fuck?
There's people that do though. There's people that follow Kim Kardashian and all these other people like religiously. Like they won't miss a show or beat, and they do it because their lives are so boring and bland in comparison.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the reason they do it. They want to see something like they want to strive for. Like I'm going to work this shit job so I can be there one day. Everybody in America are millionaires waiting to happen. Everybody believes it.
White boy, what's wrong? What the fuck? You're just sitting there like that.
Build the wall. Build the wall. Build the wall.